You have now tuned into Insight Sundays, the show that brings you relevant news, youth and political topics with a new direction and focus for our communities. Log in with Facebook and get connected. Here's your host, Adrian Mickens.
What's going on, Indianapolis? And welcome to another edition of Insight Sundays right here on AM 1310 The Light and Facebook Live. As always, we have to give a shout out to all of our sponsors, which are Andrew J. Brown Academy, Indiana Christian Leadership Conference, or ICLC, Buttons and Bows Hair Salon, Bethesda Temple Southeast Campus, New Vision Lighthouse Ministries, Hair Artistry Indy, Inner Beauty Program Incorporated, New Breed of Youth, Lighthouse Academy Charter School South and East Campus, Beach Grove Bible Church, Sam Ash Music Store, and remember, vote for William Benjamin for Sheriff of 2018. Again, vote William Benjamin for Sheriff of 2018. As well as, I want everybody, if you are in the car, or if you're getting ready to get out of the car, I should say, make sure that you log in with us on Facebook. We are streaming live right now on Facebook, as well as you can follow us on all of our other social media platforms, which is YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. All right, Indianapolis, we have another spectacular show for you guys today. In the house, we do have one of our sponsors, which is Indianapolis Lighthouse Charter School is in the house today, the South Campus to be specific. And we have the principal there for the Lower Academy, which is Mrs. Kim Randall, as well as we have a 4th grade teacher there at Lighthouse Charter School, and her name is my apologies, Lisa Wills, correct? Yes. Lisa Wills, all right? So today we're just going to talk about ISTEP and about the changes that's getting ready to occur here in the next year and all the great stuff that is going to happen this year in 2018 with ISTEP preparation. Questions parents may have, hopefully we hit those topics today to help answer some of your questions for all of our parents who are listening today. But right before we do that, we're just going to get a good graze about who's in studio today, their history, and how long they've been in education, and all that good stuff. I'm going to start here with the principal, Mrs. Randall. Mrs. Randall, when did you decide that being a principal was something that you would like to do, and how many years have you been in education?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I've been in education for 34 years. That seems really hard to believe. But I was a teacher for 25 years.
Awesome.
And then had the opportunity to become Director of Instruction for Lighthouse Academies.
Okay.
And at that point, after 4.5 years, I moved into the principal role.
Right.
And I've been doing that for 5.5 years.
All right. And have you always been stationed here in Indiana, or were you
Yes.
teach? Okay. All right. What some of the schools that you school that you taught at the time?
Specifically for the major part of my career, it's been in Indianapolis Public Schools.
Okay.
However, I did have different experiences in the summer times or after school in different schools.
Okay.
But the majority of my career was at Indianapolis Public Schools. As a Director of Instruction and Principal, though, it's been with Lighthouse Academies.
All right. And I guess a swing around question here to Lisa, too, as well. When did you know that you were called to be a teacher? Was it just a natural passion? How did that happen?
So thank you for having us, Adrian. We appreciate that. So for me, it's my second career.
Okay.
I was in criminal justice to begin with, and have 2 criminal justice degrees. But I've always had a special connection with children. So after serving the criminal justice field for 5 years, I decided that I wanted to go into teaching. So I'm a Teach for America alumni, and that's the avenue I took to go into teaching.
Okay. And for the criminal justice, was it here in Indiana or another state before you came here?
Right.
How'd that work?
South Bend, Indiana, St. Joe County, adult felony probation.
Okay.
So.
All right. And was Lighthouse the first school that you taught at, or did you teach somewhere else before Lighthouse?
Nope. So I taught for 9 years in Atlanta, Georgia, through Atlanta Public Schools.
Okay.
I taught at Venetian Hills for my first 3 years, and Hutchinson Elementary School for 6 years after that. And then I taught for 2 years in Abu Dhabi, the United Arab Emirates.
Okay.
2 years in Washington, D.C., and this is my 4th year here in Indianapolis. Came to my home state. So.
All right. Well, I can definitely say that you are a nationwide teacher, which is good. I mean, you have a variety of experiences to know what to expect when it comes to scholars and improving their education, when it comes to working with the parents to help you in the classroom, outside the classroom, I should say, with the students. And experience is great. You can't replace that for anything in the world from experience. Let's talk about a lot of the mission statements and stuff that Lighthouse wants to let the parents know. For any child who wants to enroll with Lighthouse, what is you guys' core focus that you try to make sure without a shadow of a doubt that the parents know about their children if they want to enroll them at the school?
Our mission statement or our vision is to prepare students for college and career through an rigorous arts-infused program. So we have, all of our teachers are certified. We spend a lot of time in professional development making sure our teachers are well prepared. We spend a lot of time with our students teaching the whole child. So not just academically, but socio-emotionally as well, including feeding them breakfast, helping with any needs that they have through our counseling program, and as well as just making sure the rigorous academics are there. We meet with the parents 4 times a year to make sure that they are up to date on the progress of their child and work with them, creating action plans for anything that may be lacking. That's one of the things that I love about Lighthouse Academies is that we seek out students who may have had a previous poor school experience and help get them back having a good one. So there may be gaps, there may have been certain attitudes with their poor school experience previously that's keeping them from learning, but that's what we do really well with our counseling program, with our well-trained teachers, with our caring, compassionate teachers, is making sure that we meet the needs of the whole child.
Well, and I'm going to stay with you here because I've known Mrs. Randall for probably about 4 to 5 years now. When you used to be the principal at the East Campus. And I call it the Great Migration that happened in 2015-2016 school year when Lighthouse has kind of merged together. There were a lot of the staff members. So what was that change like? And then how much has it grown with those staff members from that merge that came together at that time?
Well, the merge came about because the East Side wanted to replicate the high school that is on the South Side. And so the elementary program moved south. And so many of the teachers came to the south location as well as the students. And with any change, big change like that, there were some things to overcome, trying to put 2 campuses together and make it all work. But I'm just really proud of our families who stuck with us and worked with us and trusted us to come south, and also those that received us. The South Campus was already there and had been established for many years, and so they received us and worked with us. Yes, there were challenges as we all got to know each other. The expectations were different. A lot of the teachers were different. I was different, a new principal to their campus. And so we just all had to figure each other out. But through that, as any big project like that, you grow together or you grow apart. And so we decided to grow together. And I said, as our families really stuck with us. And through that, we're stronger because of it. Lighthouse Academies has been around a long time. We have many campuses across the country, but I'm proud to say that our one at the South Campus is very strong now because of the culture that we've created, because we spend so much time with our families and also training our teachers so that we can continue to move forward, which is what happened as a result of that merge. We could be stuck in the past about why we had to make this big move, but we moved forward, and as a result, we're stronger because of it.
I personally think that that was a very good move that happened, and it goes to show of your great success as a principal, because everybody who transitioned teacher-wise or administrative-wise from the East Campus and teachers who are already there at the South Campus, I'm not exactly sure of the head number count, but I can definitely say it is a high percentage of staff members and administrators who stayed around since and still in your tenure as principal there. So kudos to you and all the, as you always tell me, for all the great work that you do for the administration and the staff members. I know that they do love your leadership in that way. As well as during that time too, I know that there was a big expansion that happened.
Yes.
They opened up a whole new side with a brand new gym. I think that was 2014 or 2015 too as well. What was that expansion process like? Was that the first time you've been through one of those, or how did that work out?
No, it's not, but this one happened at the same time of the merge because we were adding 8 new classrooms, a couple more offices, an IHSAA gymnasium to support our high school program. Because for those who may not be aware, this is a K through 12 program. So all this construction was going on at the same time with this merge, which is one of the challenges because we didn't have ceilings when we first came in because they were still working on the ductwork and the HVAC units and things like that. And we didn't have enough parking because of the equipment on the lot. But we worked through it all knowing that when it was all said and done and the smoke all cleared, that we were going to have a beautiful expansion. And then we took it a step further. We added a garden, a community garden, that is part of our service learning program. And in addition, we had a really nice playground and soccer field that we are continuing to develop. We just started our soccer club this year, and
so have a lot of grass out there.
Right. So that was a part of it as well. And the kids had never had a playground before. I can't imagine, a school not having a playground, but they didn't have one before, and so we have that now as a result of that.
That's so awesome. All right, I'm gonna swing it around over here to Mrs. Lisa. I'm gonna ask you this question, and then we're gonna get into some classroom stuff. But from a teacher's perspective, how is it working with the administration there at Lighthouse since you've been there, including working with Mrs. Randall? How's that?
Well, excuse me, as I've often told people as they ask about what my experience is like at Lighthouse, the administration is second to none. And I thank Mrs. Randall every time I get a chance to, because working under the direction of Mrs. Randall and Mr. Harrison and Mrs. Miller, the level of compassion and empathy that they have for the teachers and the students, the culture that we have built with our lower elementary, and the way that we're allowed to build relationships with students and families is just incredible.
That's so awesome.
And as I've explained, I've taught all over the country, and as long as I'm in Indiana, I will be teaching under the direction of Mrs. Randall.
That sounds
the administration is a very important element.
Back to a little bit about your tenure as a teacher and all that good stuff, and you teaching around the country. And I'll let you know before that shows that you're very seasoned at what you do. And I've experienced it firsthand. I had to do a in-class recording for you just to show other staff members, a little bit about structure and best practices that they can pull from your classroom. But you have great, excellent classroom management and control. I'm serious. They all do a fantastic job, but the way that you do it, you don't even look up from the desk. You just make a couple comments and the students automatically clap. They're right on one accord. They're right with you. How do you do it? Let's ask that question. How do you do it?
The 3 R's: rigor, relevance, and relationships.
Okay.
But relationships with the children and their families is most important. And I feel like when you build that early on and maintain it throughout the school year, you can do whatever you like to do. Like I've always told, especially new teachers coming into the field, that when you show the children that you care about them and that you love them and you're on their team, they will do anything for you. So working at Lighthouse, we're allowed to do that and to build those relationships. And my parents know that they can get in touch with me at any time if they have questions or concerns. And the students know that the staff is there and we're on their team. And so that's pretty much.
And on that topic, same thing, for Mrs. Randall too. I've seen it firsthand on how you're firm but fair and compassionate all at the same time. You just can't say just firm and fair, but you're compassionate too as well. How is it for you as a principal on the disciplinary aspect with working with the students to grow, to do better, getting them to understand what was wrong, how they can improve it, and then working with the parents too as well?
Well, first of all, I have 6 children myself.
Okay.
And so most of the decisions that I make are as a parent. How would I want my children to be treated when they're at school? And how would the parents want to be treated? And I tell parents that often, that I'm talking to you as parent to parent right now, not as administrator to parent, because I do care so much about them. We all care about them so much. And so we wouldn't work so hard around the socio-emotional part. It would probably just be the academics if I didn't care so much. And that's what's so awesome about our staff, is they all do. They care about the whole child and will go to great lengths to make sure their needs are met. Yeah. And the families know that, and the students know that. And even when they might get in trouble or something like that, they'll say later that they know that we cared about them. It would just be so much more difficult, but maybe a little easier if we didn't meet all the needs. But then we wouldn't be developing the whole child and not preparing them for their life. Yeah. It's so much more than just preparing them for school. It's preparing them for their life. Yeah. And so that's how we talk to them. We continuously talk to them, and we don't assume that they know. We don't know what has been taught at home or what experiences they've had throughout their life, so we don't assume. We continually talk to them and help them grow so that they know how to be the best that they can be.
That's so awesome. All right, Indianapolis, please stay in tune with us today. This is a 4-hour show. We do have a special edition. We have some great information on our next segment here coming up about ISTEP, testing questions that parents may have, all that good stuff. We're going to take a quick break. Right before we do that, I just want to make a quick announcement again that you can follow us live on Facebook. Once again, follow us live on Facebook at the title name of Insight Sundays with an S. Again, that is Insight Sundays. Or you can follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat to get you all the live replays and cool photos, all that good stuff right here live on AM 1310 The Light. And we will be back here in just a second. Welcome back, Indianapolis, to Insight Sundays. I am your host, Adrian Mickens. As always, we're going to give a quick shout out to all of our sponsors, which are Andrew J. Brown Academy, Indiana Christian Leadership Conference, or ICLC, Buttons and Bows Hair Salon, Bethesda Temple Southeast Campus, New Vision Lighthouse Ministries, Hair Artistry Indy, Inner Beauty Program Incorporated, New Breed of Youth, Lighthouse Academy Charter School South and East Campus, Beach Grove Bible Church, Sam Ash Music Store, and remember, vote for William Benjamin for Sheriff of 2018. Again, vote William Benjamin for Sheriff of 2018. As well as you can follow us live on Facebook right now on Insight Sundays. Once again, follow us live on Facebook at Insight Sundays, or YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever your preferred method of social media that you like. In the house today again, we have Indianapolis Lighthouse Charter School. For the second half of the show, we are going to discuss ISTEP, which is getting ready to happen next week, and the preparation that's going on at Lighthouse, and a lot of the questions that parents may want to know, I would ask, and may want to know about. I'm going to start off with the principal again, which is Mrs. Randall, who's in studio today. I'm going to ask this question to start off, and that is, which parts of the ISTEP test have increased? Meaning, is it more mathematics? Is it more English? Have they swayed it either way?
It's even. Okay. Actually, we have, this time, there's 2 rounds to ISTEP, and okay. The first part of ISTEP starts next week. And so they'll take their math test this week, which is just 1 day of testing, okay. And then they'll take their English language arts test, the first part, which is more around reading, and then they'll take the third part, which is writing. And then some of the classes, some of the grade levels will take social studies, and some of them will take science. Third grade just takes ELA or English language arts and math.
Okay. And the reason why I asked that question is because I know that one of the biggest concerns with parents in ISTEP testing is the length and the time of the test, I guess, from years prior up until today. I guess, they kind of go through a system where they check and see an estimated time of how long it may take the students to take. Years prior, was it kind of extensively long, and it's kind of shorter now? How did that process work until where we are today from past time?
Yes, it has increasingly got longer. they can test anywhere from, I think the shortest test, which might be a science test, is 35 minutes all the way up to an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes at a time. And so it is pretty extensive. So that's why we have to work on stamina with our students, making sure that they can read for long periods of time and they can write for long periods of time, and that they can work through problems for long periods of time, because they might know the answers to the questions and they might be able to work through the problems, but when you're doing it for that long a time, it can get, they can make them really weary.
So what's some of the parent support that you've seen over the years when it comes to ISTEP testing? What's some feedback or questions that they've asked you? Maybe you can help somebody who's listening now who's a parent over the years of taking the ISTEP test.
So to lead up to ISTEP testing, what parents can do to help their children is to talk to them, have conversations with them. Just by talking to them and having these conversations builds their vocabulary. You're going to be able to answer questions about the world that they wouldn't normally be exposed to. But by having conversations, just as you're driving together, as you're walking down the street together, even the most insignificant conversations can mean something when you're building that vocabulary and making your child just a well-rounded student by the things that they're exposed to in the world. And then the other thing is reading to your child, or having your child read to you. And you don't have to know how to teach reading in order to just have a child read. Again, it's the exposure to words and the fact that studies show that students who are good at reading, who are good readers, the studies show that they were read to as a child. Or that somebody showed that they were cared about books, them reading books to their parent or the parent reading books to the child. And so that is really crucial in a child's life. Those are the two biggest ones that I tell parents, especially as they get older and it's harder to understand the homework. Me included, I don't understand my children's homework anymore. But what I can do is just still continue to show them that I care about what happens in school. I'm asking them questions about school. We can't just say, how was your day? And they go, fine, and move on. We have to ask them specific questions about their day. And then just show that constant interest in books. We've also done a big push for that the last couple of years, and this year particularly, but what can we do to get books in hands so that students are always having them in their hands, they're always reading them, they're always just looking through them and sharing and discussing and asking questions with others.
Is there any like practice tests that they can take at home? I know you guys do them in school, but is there something that they can do online at home or anything like that? How does that work for the parents to help out?
Yes, there is. There's Experience ISTEP Online, which they can go to the Indiana Department of Education website and click on that link that helps them practice through those questions. We also send materials home so students and parents know what those questions look like.
And I guess I want to swing it back over here to Lisa. Same thing too as well. What has been starting off this year? The preparation of ISTEP that you've seen from past years, is it, as a teacher-wise in the classroom, what's the experience like? Is it different? Has it grown? Is it better? How's it working?
Well, I try not to look at it as preparing students for ISTEP. We have a very rigorous curriculum. So just making sure the students have high-quality instruction and making sure we hold them accountable for their work and holding parents accountable. It all leads up to student success, in my opinion. So basically it's throughout the entire school year. As we get closer to the ISTEP period, we spend a little bit more time practicing. Like Mrs. Randall said, the first round is 30%, and it's a different type of test. It's open-ended questions where students will be responsible for answering questions, showing strategies, and just showing what they know. So with the idea that the students have been taught well throughout the school year, we just hope and understand that they would do well on the test.
What are the most challenges, and I don't want to harp on the negative, but challenges are real. What are the most challenges that you've seen over the years where you know that as a teacher I need to make sure that I home in on this to make sure that they get this part of the material? Is it with the reading portion? Is it the mathematics? Or does it just vary year by year and classroom by classroom?
Right. So I'm a math teacher.
You took it up just a little
Sure.
bit. There we go. Awesome. Yep.
I think just the relationship you build with the students. A lot of our students face adversity, and that comes from home or, you know, whatever the case might be. And so making sure that we know where our students are, know where their deficits are. We have teams of people who, you know, teachers and support staff that support our students. So just making sure that we know our students, we know where they're at, meet them where they're at, and make sure that they're getting that instruction to help pull them up to grade level. But we just have a lot of staff on hand to make sure that our students are being taken care of.
And this question too as well is still in classroom related to ISTEP, but not a direct ISTEP question. Again, the time where I actually got a chance to film you in real time in class with the scholars. I got a chance to see things that you do with, it's not necessarily flashcards, but you hold the students accountable to make sure that their classmate is getting the correct answer. So they'll walk around and say a problem, and then they tell them yes or no. What is that process like? Was that a creation of yourself, or is that something that Lighthouse put together? How does that work?
I think you're referring to the multiplication word that we play where the kids get really excited. So I just take time to make sure that that skill is covered and mastered. Sometimes students come to 4th grade and they don't have their multiplication mastered, and sometimes they do. But fluency is important across all operations. But we have a focus on small group instruction at Lighthouse to where students are not only solving problems, but they're collaborating with each other, building that vocabulary, building that team of collaboration where they're figuring out how to solve problems. And they get the opportunity to lead groups and help each other out. And so that's a big part of how classes run.
And that's very true too, especially for the lower academy. Like, you guys don't even have desks, you guys have tables. So I mean, it's already set up in a group setting. High school is a little bit different. They do have their own individual desks, but in the lower academy, it is set up that way, where it is group orientated, where the students work together, checks and balances, as far as the students helping each other out. And obviously, it's seeming like that is a great system to do when students help other students out. Not only are they providing the other student the correct answer, they also probably are making sure and double checking themselves too in the process. Is that the goal behind that?
Right, sharing the ideas, collaborating. You know, some students are stronger in certain areas than others, and it's really wonderful to see as the teacher, once you get that system rolling, to just watch the students, you know, work together and, you know, just be successful as a team.
Awesome. I'm going to swing this back around to Mrs. Wren. Oh, did you have a comment?
Well, I just wanted to say that in the real world, when our students grow up, chances are they're going to have to work with someone. We're probably not going to work in isolation most of the time. We have to learn to work together, to collaborate, to figure out problems together, to work on projects together, and so that is another reason behind that.
So the next question that I have is about online testing. I know that in past years, there was a time where they decided to do online testing. How did that work? Is that possibly going to be this year? Is it all paper and pencil? How is it working this year with online testing?
We have done it several ways. This year we are fortunate enough to do it paper pencil, and I say fortunate because the students are used to writing down the problems themselves and working through it on paper. And we were granted that because of some issues with our server, with our infrastructure. And we were also testing paper pencil last year. And so this is the last year for ISTEP. We'll move into iLearn beginning next year. And so I think the idea was that we would just finish up this era of ISTEP testing paper pencil. We have tested with the online program before, but as it moved into more technology enhanced programs, we moved to paper pencil.
Gotcha.
Now there will be no option next year with iLearn, and we'll be prepared to do that.
So iLearn will be all technology based.
Yes.
Okay. So for all of our parents who's listening out there, the name of ISTEP will be no longer. It will change to iLearn, and everything will be digital based. Will no longer be paper and pencil. Correct? I just want to make sure I'm saying it correct. Okay. So it'll all be online next year. It will no longer be paper and pencil with iLearn. So I'm taking it that they fixed all the bug issues that happened before. I know it was a big thing a couple years back when they tried, I think it was the CBT with McGraw-Hill or whatever, and but I know they fixed that problem. You know, everything is technology driven now, and where we're going, I know the students love it. You guys have iPads galore in the school.
Yes, we do.
In the small groups that they work with, and they just have an absolute ball working with that in that way. I'm going to ask this question specifically in regards to ISTEP again, and that is the feedback of the parents over the years, over you guys' success rate that you guys have had with ISTEP, whether it was at the East Campus up until today.
Our parents have been very supportive. As I mentioned earlier, Lighthouse Academy seeks out students or areas of the city where maybe students have had poor school experiences, and we offer them a choice. We offer families a choice. And so we're working to close that gap. We're working to get them up to speed where they need to be. So though ISTEP has three parts to it. One is proficiency. It's actually where the student is performing. One is growth. How far have they come? So they might still be low, but how far have they grown? And then the third part is over college and career readiness. And so though our proficiency scores and where our students are still tend to be low to moderate, our growth is tremendous. As a matter of fact, our 10th grade last year had some of the highest growth scores in the state, not just the city, but in the state. And so as we reach out to our students and our families who've had poor school experiences potentially, we know that we can close that gap and get them where they need to be. And to be very clear and very specific where we are, every year we have come up. This year we were 0.4 of a point from a B. As you know, every school in Indiana is given a grade, and so we have come up every year, and that hurt a little bit to know we were only 0.4 from a B, and what could we have done to receive that 0.4. But I'm not as worried about that as I am making sure that our students continue to grow, knowing that some of them come in really, really far behind. It's what we do well is catch them up.
All right. On that note, we are going to take our second break for the show. As always, make sure that you follow us live on Facebook at Insight Sundays. Once again, follow us live on Facebook at Insight Sundays, or you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, or Snapchat, whichever preferred social media platform that you'd like. Once we come back from break, we are going to talk about something very cool that Indianapolis Lighthouse Charter School does, probably amongst other schools, but I just know because I see it every year, and that is the ISTEP Pep Rally and how excited all of the students and scholars get around ISTEP season time. So we're going to take our break and we will be right back. Welcome back, Indianapolis, to Insight Sundays. I am your host, Adrian Mickens. As always, we're going to give a quick shout out to all of our sponsors, which are N.J. Brown Academy, Indiana Christian Leadership Conference, or ICLC, Buttons and Bows Hair Salon, Bethesda Temple Southeast Campus, New Vision Lighthouse Ministries, Hair Artistry Indy, Inner Beauty Program Incorporated, New Breed of Youth, Lighthouse Academy Charter School South and East Campus, Beach Grove Bible Church, Sam Ash Music Store, and remember, Indianapolis, to vote for William Benjamin for Sheriff of 2018. Again, vote William Benjamin for Sheriff of 2018. As well as you can follow us live on Facebook at Insight Sundays. Again, follow us live on Facebook at Insight Sundays, or YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, or Snapchat. At this moment in time, Indianapolis, I do really want you, as I did prior before, but I do really want you to go to Facebook. We are going to air the Lighthouse Academy Charter Schools ISTEP video that we do every year. This year, it is ISTEP 2K18 that we're going to play the video live, as well as if you are driving in the car, we are going to play the song here momentarily. In studio again today, we do have Indianapolis Lighthouse Charter School with our principal and teacher there at Lighthouse 2 as well. As a quick question here for Mrs. Randall, what is the experience like as a principal with the ISTEP Pep Rally?
It is just an incredible experience. We just love to pump up our students and our staff for that matter. All of us working together just to get them excited about showing what you know. We try to take the stress out of it because it is stressful, and then though even a little stress can be good, we don't want that to be the main factor. So we just try to make them feel like celebrities. This year they're going to be ISTEP Olympians, along with our Olympic theme, of course. And then, of course, I've got to thank you for all that you do with our ISTEP video, because the kids, it is a highlight. The kids just cannot wait, and every year we just clap and cheer and just can't believe, because that's the big thing, is we want our kids to feel like celebrities going into ISTEP, showing what you know.
Yeah, absolutely. What's your experience been like since you've been there at Lighthouse with the pep rallies?
It's exciting, and the students get into it, like Mrs. Randall said. It takes kind of like the pressure off of them, and they go into it knowing that, you know, show what you know. And it's not necessarily about the assessment, it's about showing what you know. And the excitement around the video and just the hype around the ISTEP testing, I think helps them to be more relaxed.
Yes, absolutely.
For the ISTEP week.
All right. Well, right before we play the song and air the video on Facebook Live, again, that's Facebook Live Indianapolis at Insight Sundays. For the parents who are listening today, if they want to enroll, I don't know if you guys are full of enrollment right now, but maybe for next school year of 18-19, how do the parents go about that process?
They can contact our office at our either campus.
Okay.
And they can ask to talk with the family coordinator, and they can fill out an application. It is important for them to do that right now, because we are accepting applications now for next year. We are already close to full in some grade level, so it's very important for families to begin that process now. Very few people are thinking about August right now, but that's when we do our enrollment.
All right. Well, there you have it. Indianapolis, if you want to be a part of Indianapolis Lighthouse Charter School for the next up-and-coming school year of 18-19 or moving forward, that telephone number to call to talk to the family coordinator is, of course, area code 317-351-1534. Again, that is 317-351-1534. Or if you just want to stop by the front desk and make an appointment that way, that address is 1780 Sloan Avenue, and that is the South Campus. Again, that is 1780 Sloan Avenue. All right, Indianapolis, it is now time to play the ISTEP song for 2K18, so you guys can get a chance to experience a little bit of what we are going to experience tomorrow at our pep rally. As always, Indianapolis, thank you guys for tuning in to another edition of Insight Sundays, and I will check you guys out next week.
Learning is the path we choose, motivation is the drive. No matter what tests come my way, I know I will survive. Every time I spread my wings, I know just what to do. Excuse me, Mr. Fear Man, but I got some things to do.
Use your mind. Use your mind. Use your mind. Use your mind. Don't you wanna pass mathematics? Yup. Don't you wanna pass English? Yup. Don't you wanna pass reading? Yup. Then that means you gotta start studying. Okay. Don't you wanna pass writing? Yup. Don't you wanna pass science? Yup. Don't you wanna pass comprehension? Yup. Then that means you gotta start studying. Okay.
Learning is the path we choose, motivation is the drive. No matter what tests come my way, I know I will survive. Every time I spread my wings, I know just what to do. Excuse me, Mr. Fear Man, but I got some things to do. I'm ready, yes. Ready for the test. You can try to block me, but I always do my best. No, ain't no stress. I soar past the rest. Nothing can change my mind or make me feel no less. As I step and I'm on the grind, no matter what, I'm gonna glow and shine.
Give me what you got, I'm an ace to the test. Smart like Einstein, oh yeah, it's my time. Excellence is the path. We strive for greatness. Oh yeah, we got this. So never, never doubt what we do. ISTEP 2018, we coming for you.
Learning is the path we choose. Motivation is the drive. No matter what tests come my way, I know I will survive. Every time I spread my wings, I know just what to do. Excuse me, Mr. Fear Man, but I got some things to do.
Don't you wanna pass mathematics?
Nope.
Don't you wanna pass English?
Nope.
Don't you wanna pass reading?
Nope.
Then that means you gotta start studying.
Okay.
Don't you wanna pass writing?
Nope.
Don't you wanna pass science?
Nope.
Don't you wanna pass comprehension?
Nope.
Then that means you gotta start studying.
Okay. Learning is the path we choose. Motivation is the drive. No matter what tests come my way, I know I will survive. Every time I spread my wings, I know just what to do. Excuse me, Mr. Fear Man, but I got some things to do.
Use your mind. Use your mind. Use your mind. Use your mind.
This is a soul hit production.